Welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We're about to begin with this meaningful ritual of burial. So again, thank you for being there. It's great that we found a way to make you present to honor the memory. So thank you. Please follow me. מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי לו אקסר. בינו דשא ירביצני, על ימי מנוחות ינעלני. נפשי ישובב, ינחני במקלי צדק למען שמו. גם כי אלק וגץ על מוות, לא ידע רע כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צורריי. תשענת בשמן ראשי כוסי רוויה. אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי. ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. The words of the 23rd Psalm, a Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Giving me repose in green meadows, leading me beside the still waters, to revive my spirit, guiding me on the right path, for that is God's essence. Though I walk through a valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your staff and your rod comfort me. You prepare a banquet for me in the presence of my foes. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and kindness shall be my portion all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Again, welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning in to be present today, to say goodbye and to honor the memory of Esther Israels of blessed memory, who was known to the Jewish people also by her Hebrew name, Esther Dina Bat Yosef HaKohen Vechana, Zichrona Livracha. She was the daughter of Joseph and Tanya Hornstein of blessed memory, the wife of the late Lionel Israels of blessed memory, the sister of Evelyn Creel, and also of Eddie Hornstein of blessed memory, and Rebecca Hornstein of blessed memory, the mother of the late Jared Israels of blessed memory, and also of Sarah Israels and Dan Blankstein, and the grandmother of Anna Blankstein. Esther passed away peacefully in the same home she lived for the last 55 years on Monday, December 7th, at the age of 95. As many of you already know, the last name Israels is a synonym of a wonderful legacy in Winnipeg, with both the late Dr. Lionel and Esther being amazingly accomplished doctors. But today is a time to remember the many aspects of Esther Israels. The intellectual, the researcher, the doctor, the wife, the mother, the grandmother, the role model, the welcoming person, the strong woman, the resilient, and so much more. Funerals should be a time to remember. So we understand that not everything is gone after we bury the body. The Grace Storyteller, Rabbi Shlomo Karlebach, tells the following story that speaks to the funeral experience, and I quote, "It seems that many years ago, a little 7-year-old boy and his family were about to leave their native Poland. The day before their departure, the father took the little boy to the town where the Rebbe lived, so he could receive the Rebbe's blessing. They remained overnight in the home of the Rebbe, and the little boy slept in the Rebbe's studio. Staring at all of the books, the little boy could not sleep. In the middle of the night, he saw the Rebbe enter the room, and he pretended that he was asleep. The Rebbe whispered, 'Such a sweet child.' Thinking the child might be cold, the Rebbe took off his coat and placed it lovingly on the sleeping child. Many years later, when the boy became an old man of 80 years, when asked what the source of his kindness and comfort was, he said that 73 years ago the Rebbe showed him love and comfort when he placed his coat on the boy to keep him warm. I'm still warm from that coat," said the 80-year-old man. Funerals remind us that on many occasions in our lives, many people, like Esther Israels, put their warm coats on us, touched us, loved us, and comforted us. Esther Israels will be remembered not just because of her many professional accomplishments. She was as welcoming as her father Abraham and her mother Sarah, with her home open to so many newcomers. Resilient, like Joseph, who despite all the challenges in his life, he excelled without letting his challenges to stop his destiny. Now, Esther might be physically gone, but her coat, so to speak, still provide warmth for so many today, and it will continue to do so as long as they live. So at this point, I would like to invite Esther's daughter, Sarah, to come forward to eulogize her mother.
Genealogies often tell a story starting at birth and describing the arc of a lifetime. For my mother's life, starting in Bengoff, Saskatchewan in 1925, that would be a very long story. So in these strange and curtailed times, I've chosen instead to tell you 3 things about Esther that will give you a sense of who she was. My mother would want to be remembered for her intellect, a quality that she valued in others as well as in herself. She was a physician and a scientist who in the 1960s built a laboratory program to diagnose bleeding disorders in patients, and undertook studies on the physiology of blood clotting, and worked with my father Lionel in writing, among other things, a textbook on hematology. She was committed to medicine and science, but her interests were broad, and she read widely on subjects that included math and physics, history and philosophy, or as a friend reminded me this morning, the advantages of romaine lettuce. She enjoyed the opportunity to share what she was reading with friends, over tea or while walking the track at the refit center, or during long conversations with her granddaughter Anna. Starting when I was a student, she distilled the best of what she read and sent it to me, first by mail and later by email. She considered me too busy to properly attend to all this information myself without her help. She embraced the arrival of the digital technology. Having spent her youth in the library, she spent her later years on the internet, where she could immediately satisfy any query that came to mind with the world's literature at her fingertips. I would like us to remember Esther as a caring and generous woman who was able to fulfill all the obligations of an academic career, a home, and a family with grace and poise. She was my first role model, and although she made it look effortless, it of course was not. When it came time for me to keep those same balls in the air, it became clear what an expert she was. I credit her with the warm, loving, and secure nature of our home, which was always open to newcomers, mostly doctors and scientists who came to train or work with my father, and who were often far from their own homes and families. I remember the international flavor of dinner parties, mingling guests from England, Switzerland, Israel, Pakistan, and Czechoslovakia. She was a consummate host, ensuring that everyone was included in the lively conversations at the table. I will remember my mother's stoicism. No long life is without pain, but the tragedies of my brother Jared's death at age 20 and my father's death in 2003, when they were still actively engaged in writing projects, could have derailed her, but did not. She refused to speak about her grief. It was not until recently, when progressive dementia removed that stoic filter, that I got to witness the expressions of that grief for those losses. Until then, she focused on the positive, deriving joy from her family, particularly Anna, and her work, from her intellectual interests and her engagement with the world. When I spoke to her younger sister, Evelyn, yesterday, she said that Esther had been very lucky. She was referring to Esther's departure from a difficult childhood to a rich, full, and productive life. There may have been some luck involved, but I think it had more to do with the strength of her character. It is we who are lucky to have had her in our lives. I want to thank all of the kind and supportive caregivers who made it possible for Esther to continue to live in her beloved home over the last 3 years, with a particular thank you to those who have been with her the longest: Martha, Jerry, Connie, and Wilma. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. See, eulogies like that serve as a reminder that while people die, love doesn't die. Esther Israels will continue to keep us warm with her love-infused code and an amazing legacy. May her soul be a source, may her memory be a source of blessing and comfort. Let us all say Amen. Would like to continue now with the El Malel Rahamim prayer. El Malel Rahamim Shochem Bameroimim Hametze Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei HaShechina V'ma'alot Kedoshim Kedoshim Uteorim Kezoyar Rakim Amazirim Eden Ishemat Esther Dina Bat Yosef HaKohen Vechana She'alecha Le'olama Bavur Shanu Mitpalelim V'ad Azkarat Nishemata Vegan Eitein Vegan Edentein Menuchata Lachem Balarachamim Ya astir ella beseder kena Favle olamim Utzeror bitzrarachayim Achayim et nishemata Adonai unachalata Vetanuach veshalom Al mishkava Venomar Amen. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the soul of Esther Israels, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. Let us all say, Amen. So for those of you who would like to honor Esther's memory through a donation to a charity, the family's choice for the charity will be announced very soon in the obituary, so stay tuned for that. And now, let's continue by honoring Esther's memory by reciting together the words of comfort, the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Itgadal ve'itgadash shemei Rabba ve'almad divrei chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'vyomechon ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו, אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. ברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, נמירם בעלמה וימרו, אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו, אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו, ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו, אמן. המקום ינחם אתכם בתוך שרה ולציון בירושלים. May God bless you and comfort you. Let us all say, Amen. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. And I'm going to stop the stream in a few seconds so we can continue here at the cemetery with a private burial. But again, your presence, even virtually, is appreciated. Thank you so much for being there.